Dark Souls 1. I remember back in the day, this game got voted like the ultimate game of all time, so I don't really think there's anything that competes with it in its own like category. At least when it was out. Obviously, now there's like 50,000 games that I consider to be at least a little bit better. A lot of NPCs, you're probably going to get lost. A lot of people used up a guide, and those who didn't probably had a very difficult time finding where to go. So it's just a game that demanded a lot from you, which was, remember, this was a time, like, this was Far Cry 3, GTA 5. It's around this era where video games were just supposed to be just fun, like, and then here comes this game that it's all about overcoming difficulty and paying attention. People say that this game is not for everyone, which I kind of disagree with because everyone that's played it in my life says that it's good and they enjoyed it, so I don't know. So one of the few issues that I had when the game released was obviously performance, though it was mostly playable. We'll kind of move on from that because, well, that's no longer an issue. So if you're playing on PC or you're playing it anywhere else, like a PS4, PS5 even, it runs pretty good. Another issue that I have with this game is that it looked really, really bad for when it came out. Like, if you compare it to any other game of that same era, let's say Far Cry 3 or GTA 5, they all look better and run better and just, like, are prettier. But we gotta say it how it is. The graphics were outdated. In terms of aesthetic, it hasn't aged terribly. It hasn't aged well either. And once you look at some places, it definitely shows that it's not really up there in terms of like the art style or the graphics. Another issue that I have with this game is that the first half of the game is so good, and then sort of right after Ornstein and Smough, the game just like plummets in quality. You get like the worst boss fights. Like, it's just really disappointing. And if it wasn't for the DLC, I don't think I would have enjoyed the game as much. The area right before Sith, like the library archives, is awful. It's just confusing. You have like the first time you see Sith, the white dragon, you just insta die. Just everything about it's just annoying. And I remember I had like 40,000 souls when I encountered Sith, and like those souls were gone. You can always come back, but it's just a headache, man. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't consider the game to be the best game of all time now, just because there are so many other experiences that don't have this like fucking frustrating part about them. Even though the game itself is really, really good, and I wouldn't like argue with you if you said that this was the best game of all time. Like, I wouldn't like sit there and like fucking have like a 30-minute argument, because it probably is top 5. Maybe even top 3, I don't know. The second game that I'm going to talk about is going to be Zelda Breath of the Wild. I played this back when the Switch came out. It was one of the first games I played on the Switch, and I was kind of disappointed with the graphics. And this is going to be a bit of a typical theme when it comes to the best games of all time. Like, for some reason, except one of them in this list, they're all just like underwhelming in the graphics department, but they make up for it with having like things about it that are way above average. Like, for example, exploration. In this game, exploration is the gameplay loop. Like, if you think about the combat being the gameplay loop in the Souls games, it's exploration. It's walking around, encountering Korok seeds, finding camps, finding dungeons, finding shrines. When it comes to exploring, you're not going to find a better game, and if you ever wonder why Elden Ring is so good, you have this game to thank for it. Another thing that's really good about this game is the art style. Unlike Dark Souls 1, I do believe this game looks really pretty, and it has aged amazingly. I've been playing it recently. It just looks really good, and sometimes I forget that it's a Switch game because it also runs pretty decently for the Switch. Like, the Switch is notoriously been really underpowered for its entire lifespan. But you can't really tell with this game. You can tell with Tears of the Kingdom, 'cause that game's on a different level in terms of like physics and just a bunch of shit on the screen. But yeah, here I would say it's a sweet spot. It is huge. It's a massive map. It looks gorgeous. This was the game that I used to just turn on and just like do like a chill 30-minute walk. Instead of walking outside, I would walk in this game like, yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. I need to get out of my house, but it's like Animal Crossing in a way. Just like, it's just a chill game that you just turn on when you don't want to do anything. Kind of feel nostalgic or whatever, you're sad, you just turn this on, you walk for 30 minutes at night. It'll change your life, man. It's amazing. But of course, it's not all good. It still suffers from a lot of the problems that open world games do, which is the rewards. If you think about it, the game is huge. It's massive. Every single explorable place can't have a good reward because then you would just end up far too powerful. My main gripe with this game, and I told everyone that would listen to me, is that the combat system is ass. It doesn't have... Just because you mimic Dark Souls and you put parries and all this shit and you have like a lock-on, it doesn't feel like it has enough weight to it. The parry and the dodge timing is far too generous. There's nothing really that challenges you beside the Lionels, which is like, there's like 4. Some of them are harder than like actual boss fights. Yeah, that was actually cool, but that's just one enemy. I don't know if Tears of the Kingdom fixed this. I haven't played enough of it to know. But just when it comes to this game, that's kind of what my issue was. It's just like the combat is just boring, man. And it sucks because a lot of what makes the game work is the exploration. If the combat was better, it would just, like, everything would just fuse together. It would just be perfect. So yeah, that is it. That is it for Breath of the Wild. I'd probably put it below Dark Souls 1. It's still probably top 5 for me. I wouldn't really consider this to be hugely replayable just because it's about seeing things the first time. It's an exploration-heavy game. If you haven't played it yet, then it should be on your radar and you should play it. But when it comes to replaying, there's so many games I'd rather play than this. So yeah, that's it for Breath of the Wild. Now, this is a game I can get behind, okay? I enjoyed this more than I did Breath of the Wild. It takes focus away from exploration, it takes focus away from combat, and it puts it all into story. And me personally, I'm not a huge story guy. This game, The Witcher 3, probably has the most interesting story that I've ever played. Yeah, so that's the best part about The Witcher 3, which is the story. Gameplay is good enough. Exploration is good enough. The map is huge. It has some of the best DLC that you're ever going to see. The DLC added like a new map, an entire new map. Blood and Wine adds like a new storyline. It rivals with the base game as far as narrative goes. I'm not really going to spoil it here, but I consider it to be the DLC, the story from the DLC, better than the base game. Which, yeah, that's a big fucking deal, because the story was the whole reason this game is in here, and they made a better story in the fucking DLC. So, yeah, you get my point. You get why it's up here. That's probably what I would consider to be the second best game of all time, for me, personally. And lastly, the best game of all time, according to me, just a guy on the internet with no credentials. I'm just probably below average IQ, probably on the spectrum. Elden Ring. I have a lot of things to say about this game. Probably the least hyped I've ever been during a release date ever. I fucking was #1 Elden Ring hater when I saw the trailer. It was just the same animations. And I was already tired of Dark Souls. I was like, man, make something else. As soon as I touched this game, like the first 5 minutes, you open that door and you see like the open world for the first time. Yeah, I knew. That's when I knew. This is like on another level. Like, this isn't Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, this is something else, it's like above it. Not only is it the best game in here, it's the longest game in here. It has a DLC that probably could be an entire game, and it took me about 50 hours to finish. That's how long I played until I stopped playing. It's probably, to finish it your first time, just like, if you're just at a moderate pace, it's probably closer to like 100 and something hours, 150, 140 maybe. I played it more than that. Way more than that. I clocked in at around 400 hours of playtime before making this video. And I still feel like I'm not done with the game. I still want to play it more. I haven't played the DLC enough. I have about like maybe somewhere around 70 to 80 hours on the DLC. Obviously, nothing is perfect. You know, of course, you can find it flaws. But for me personally, it is the best game I've ever played. And like, I knew it was going to be good. I knew every From Software game is good. But I didn't think that you could possibly make a game this long, this good, with this story. Man, it's just